Hi, y'all. This video is going to be pretty short. It's just to get people from having never used Plink to having it running on your PC to do local analysis with. If you use a Mac, I'm afraid I can't help you, but this will work for both Windows 10 and Windows 11. I'm running Windows 10. If you're running 11, it might look a little bit different, but all of the commands should be the same. So to get started, first we need to have access to Plink. So just launch whatever your preferred browser is, and you can just Google Plink Genomics, and you'll have a few options, and we're looking for this COG Genomics selection here. That will take us to this website where we can just do we get to choose our download here. We want the stable build because we don't want to run into any bugs that we don't know how to fix. So we're going for a stable build, and we're going to do a Windows 64-bit download. So go ahead and hit that download. If you really only older Windows is going to run 32-bit, and if you were running a 32-bit operating system in this day and age, you would know it. So just go ahead and choose the 64-bit, and that downloaded it wherever your computer tends to choose to download things. I've set mine for this video to download to the desktop. So we are now done with our internet browser. So now we go to the desktop, and you can see here, this is the file that we just downloaded, the Plink Win64. It is a zip file. So we need to extract it before we can do anything with it. So we're going to right click on it. And you might have different options when you right click on things than me because we have different software installed, but everyone on a Windows PC will have this extract all button. So go ahead and hit that and just hit extract. You don't have to change any of the options. And now you can see that we also have a non-zipped version of that zip file. And so we're going to delete the zipped version because we don't need two copies anymore. So now we've got this unzipped file. Let's see what's inside. So what's inside are a few different files, including license information and such for Plink, and most importantly, a file called Plink. It may say plink.exe on your end. That's fine, but it's the only one called Plink, and that's what we need. So we're going to put that on the desktop for now, make it nice and convenient to reach, and we are now done with this file. So we're going to delete that too. Now, when you're using Plink, you need the Plink exe file and the files that you are working with to all be in the same place. And so you want to choose a convenient place for both of these. And usually the desktop is a convenient place for most people. So I've right clicked on my desktop, and I'm going to choose new, and I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm just going to call it Working Plink. Just because that's the folder I'm going to be working in when I'm working with Plink. And now once I've created this file, I'm going to move the Plink exe that we got into that file. So now it's in there. Now, odds are if you've ever installed any software at all, you've downloaded an exe, you might have right-clicked or you might have double-clicked on it, and something popped up and it tried to install some files, and then it came up and you have your new program running on your PC. Plink does not work like that. If you try to run Plink like that, nothing will happen. That's because Plink needs to be run from the command line. It has a command line interface. Now, if you have used a terminal before and you have a preferred program to do that with, such as MOBA Xterm or some Cygwin stuff, I personally use the RStudio environment to interact with Plink. But so there are other options, but we're going to do the most simple built-in one for Windows users just to get started with Plink. Once you use it more, you might find you prefer something else, and you can explore what's out there. But we're just going to use the most simple one, which is going to be our command line. So, I think in Windows 11, your start menu is kind of a little bit more centery. Back in my day, it was always down here on the bottom left, or you can just hit the Windows key on your computer, and you're going to type the letters CMD, and then you're going to press enter to open the command prompt. And now we have the command prompt open. So this is the terminal from which you will be interacting with Plink. So anytime you're working with Plink, it's going to look a little bit like this. But we need to actually get to Plink. You can see it started me out in a directory. So I am at C users Kendra. You can almost imagine this is a folder that has opened. We need to navigate that to have this particular folder, the working Plink folder, open instead. So so what I can do is I need to set my working directory. I could type out C users Kendra desktop working Plink, but I'm kind of lazy and everyone likes shortcuts. So we're going to right click on the folder that was on the desktop. Windows 11, I think, has something like copy as path, which is convenient. And if so, then you can use that. But since I'm running Windows 10, I'm going to go to properties, and I'm going to just copy this location. So I've highlighted that under the location. I Control C to copy it. And we're going to close that. Then I'm going to come back over to my command prompt. Now, I'm going to type the letter C, the letter D, spacebar, and then Control V to paste what I just copied. And then we need to finish that out because, of course, the file is on the desktop. It is not, it is, so we need to go to Working Plink. So that's the folder that we made. So I'm going to hit Enter. And if you did it right, it will do what just happened. So now instead of saying C users Kendra, it says C users Kendra desktop working Plink. So it has now opened this file here. And so now if I were to type directory, dir, I should say, if you type dir, it will show you the files in the folder you have open. And so you can see we are in the Plink folder successfully. That's great. We've got it seeing Plink. That's usually the first hurdle for a lot of people. The next hurdle is the fact that you need to have the files in the same folder. So a lot of times people will try to open files from other locations, and it's not impossible, but it can get very complicated very quickly. So what I recommend is whatever files you're using, you want to move them into that same working Plink folder. So here's some workshop files from a Plink workshop earlier, and I can just copy all of my various Plink folders or Plink files into that particular folder, close this down. And now if I come back to my, my command prompt and I type dir, again, this is going to show me what folders are available for Plink to work with. I hit enter and we can see now it sees all of those extra files. And so now if I were to ever want to use Plink, I just use Plink commands as I normally would. So if I want to make sure it's working, you just type Plink, and then there you can see. So this is actually what Plink looks like. It doesn't look very fancy, but it works great. So you can see Plink has loaded up there, and the way that, and you'll learn more about how to use commands, but it's going to look something along the lines of Plink. So you always start a Plink command with the word Plink, and then space, and then usually dash dash, and then it will tell you things that you can do. And you'll be learning more about how to manipulate and open and view files more in whatever the heck you're installing Plink for. So good luck with that.